one of the things that we need to talk about in Sonoma County is the level of treatment that our brothers and sisters and non-gender conforming individuals of color, the level of treatment and discrimination that they are suffering through in different jobs throughout the county. For some of you, maybe you read the article, and if not, I invite you to read the article that came out on the Press Democrat recently about individuals of African-American descent who are leaving Sonoma County jobs in the County of Sonoma, that is, because they are being treated differently, they're being discriminated, there are racist comments that are being made about them, or simply the tools to be able to carry out their duties are not being provided. One of the individuals who was supposed to be our new county head of services declined the offer on Thursday last week because he was concerned about the treatment of department heads of color, and that was Derek Neal. 2 Black women have left their jobs because of racism and microaggressions at the county level. And the problem is that this issue has been happening for many, many years. When I reach out for comments, a lot of individuals are saying no. Because what happens is we discuss it, we read it on the news, we put a like on Facebook or other places, and after that, we do nothing to fix it. We need to understand what is happening, and not just at the county, but I'll mention that Susan Gorin, who is the supervisor in charge of the Board of Supervisors in the County of Sonoma, she said, and I quote, she says, "What has happened really contradicts who we are and what we are all about." And I would say, absolutely not. This is exactly who we are in Sonoma County. This is what we are about. Either Ms. Susan Goring is not paying attention in her job, and that is an issue, or she chooses to ignore the reality that people of color are treated differently. Case in point, during the fires of 2020, they decided to do a press conference, and Ms. Susan Goring was there in charge of this press conference, yet they forgot a minor detail, which is to provide translation into Spanish. 27% of the population of Sonoma County are Latinx or of Latinx descent, and many of them speak Spanish. Some of them speak an indigenous language, I got that. But there was no Spanish translation provided. How are these people supposed to know what areas to avoid and in what direction to move when the fire comes their way? She was obviously bothered when I pointed this out during the press conference. But yes, this is what Sonoma County is. People love to call themselves progressive. They love to say that Sonoma County is progressive, but in fact, we are a very conservative town in a very conservative county, that is. And again, either Ms. Goring is not paying attention to the needs of the community, or she simply doesn't care. But again, it's not just county employees that are suffering. In the educational system, the same thing happens. How is it that at Santa Rosa Junior College, we have a 40% student population of Latinx descent, but we have between a 7 and an 8% Latinx faculty members? Why is it that Latinx faculty members don't get hired to be teachers at Santa Rosa Junior College? Just last year, an individual came to my office. He was about to get his PhD, and he wasn't even given the opportunity to interview for a job. What happened to another faculty member who happened to be of Latinx background, but he was blonde hair, blue eye, white passing, from Harvard? A Harvard professor wasn't hired at Santa Rosa Junior College as a full-time faculty, and we have to ask why. Harvard, Why wasn't he hired? Is Harvard not good enough for Santa Rosa Junior College? What the research tells us over and over again is people hire those that mirror themselves. And this is why, for years and years, individuals, employees of Santa Rosa Junior College have been asking, why is it that you don't hire people of color? They never have a good explanation. For a while, they were saying they just don't apply. I was in a meeting where one of the previous vice presidents of Santa Rosa Junior College, and all these meetings are a matter of public record, but this woman said, oh, they just never made it to my office, right? Those names, those applicants never made it to my office. And that person was contradicted by an employee in the HR department saying, yes, there were this many number of applicants, so not sure what happened. And everybody blame each other. But again, you hire who you want. And when you don't get what you want and you hire people of color, you make their lives so difficult that they will want to leave. And then you feel good. Or you put them in positions of power. They don't do well because you don't give them the tools and the support. And then when they leave, you say, see, this is why we cannot trust people of color in these positions, because they're incompetent to do the work. And the worst possible thing is when you get people of color to bring down people of color. And this also happens. In Spanish, we call them vendidos, sellouts. People who think that if they just mistreat their own people or other people of color to appease the white oppressor, that suddenly they will be treated as an equal, when in fact, all you have to think about is the slavery times, right? There's the oppressor, there's the sellout, and there's the victims. And the reason I wanted to bring it up to your attention today is because when I reach out for comment to multiple individuals who have left their jobs in the county and from places like Santa Rosa Junior College because they were really feeling like they were discriminated against or they were not being provided the tools to succeed, they all declined an interview. They all declined the opportunity to comment for this report, saying there is absolutely no point in us putting ourselves out there once again, because nothing is going to change until the people of the community of Sonoma County are willing to demand change. Absolutely nothing will happen. And a lot of this work doesn't have to be done by people of color. Most of this work, in fact, will have to be done by white people. It's important that we are honest. It's hard to have difficult conversations, but if we don't start, then there's really no point in waking up in the morning.